Welcome back, Marvel Strike Force fans. Now, although there is no blog this week, there are still events going on next week, and those charts popped up last night. So if you want to know how we're going to smash those events, and also some of the news that's been going on around the Marvel Strike Force community, then join me in this video. What's going on, everyone? I'm BPG and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I make at least 2 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week, usually based around the events within the game. However, sometimes I do get time to release other videos as well. So if you find the content in this video helpful, please do consider giving the video a like, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any other BPG uploads. And without further ado, let's get into it. And in the news this week, we have had the Astral team updates. Let's go and take a look at those a second. Okay, so the Astral team updates, they released this statement. Commanders, we've received feedback from the community about the disappointment of Emma Frost X-Men and how she is lacking some offensive capabilities. It's a pity, because this almost reads like, Commanders, we don't play test our characters. We don't really know what we're doing. And we're sorry, we're going to make her better. Or this character hasn't, people don't think this character is very good, so they haven't really bought it, so we're going to make her a bit better, so you actually buy her. It's a real shame. So what have they done to her kit? They've raised her base speed, added bleeds to her basic, and updated her special and ultimate to clear barrier and assist with getting rid of positive effects on enemies. Made her ultimate attack adjacent targets, so she's got more targets to attack now, and she can now help take down the boss Null in Battleworld faster with her Astral team and some X-Men allies. While reviewing Emma Frost's kit, we also took a pass on Ancient One and Shadow King to make sure they were hitting their goals for Astral. We've made some tweaks to their kits as well, so they perform even better in Battleworld. The details of these changes are below. I'm not going to go through all these changes because there have been multiple content creators that have gone through the changes, and I'm going to leave a link to the blog down below. But just a quick thought on this. A few things. Firstly, one, why weren't they good enough right out the gate? You guys have had over a year developing Battleworld, and so also with that you've had over a year to develop teams to work inside Battleworld, and it took the community not very long to work out the bleed team, which is another reason why you've probably bumped the Astral team, because the bleed team on the Null boss fight, it was outperforming the Astral team almost 10-1. Now, it is a shame that they have to put these buffs in, and that they didn't put the buffs in early enough. This blog went out on the 25th of November. Like, this missed a whole week's worth of Battleworld. Yeah, this could have been a hell of a lot better, guys. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link to the blog down below. Why not let me know what you think of the changes to the Astral team? And speaking of Battleworld, we also had a Battleworld leaderboard drama, shall we say, and also a Scroll Diamond Heist update. Let's go and take a look at that blog. Okay, so again, if you want to read this a bit more in depth, I'm going to leave a link to this down below in the description. Battleworld leaderboard and Scroll Diamond Heist update. Commanders, over the weekend there was a bug that allowed the Astral team to deal over 1 billion damage on Null. Now, they've mentioned this big 1 billion damage number. However, they have not mentioned the other players who managed to get like the 900 million damage sort of numbers that were going on. So the numbers that were just under 1 million, but over what a lot of people were getting, which was around about, I believe, the 500 million mark. We understand there are concerns, and we have internally reviewed all the available data to confirm that this has not impacted the integrity of the Battleworld season leaderboard. pull the other one. How can you say that this has not impacted the integrity of the season leaderboard? There were only 2 instances of the Astral team doing this amount of damage, and none of these were in the top 10 alliance scores. Due to the extremely small number of instances that achieved this score, the leaderboard will remain unchanged. We will continue to monitor this issue over the coming weeks and the impact it might have on the leaderboards, and we'll fix the issue as quickly as possible. Now, again, remember, this is a game mode that they have had in development for over a year. Not to mention that this was also a game mode that they literally copied from Capital Games and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Only they made it worse. These things should have been hashed out way before getting to this stage. Way before getting to this stage. You know, why are the community, and this is a question that I really would love Scopely to answer. I know that it costs money for playtesters, but you have the envoys, you have the MSF PV. If you treat them correctly, I'm sure they would love to playtest this stuff, you know, and properly playtest it for you. This is just a case of do better, Scopely, really. Battleworld season change. The current Battleworld season leaderboard will end on December 1st. The next season of Battleworld will be a non-competitive season and last for 1 week. All alliances that reach 60k VP will earn the following rewards equivalent to the rank 51 to 100 bracket. 60k VP, that's just one zone that you've got to get through to get onto the leaderboard. So yeah, and everyone's going to earn the same. So is it worth putting any effort into Battleworld next week? Probably not. 10k basic T3 orb fragment, 100k T3 L1 ions. So that's 5 T3 orbs, basically 100k ions. That's what's important. 1.8 T2 L5 ions and 1.1 million T2 L4 ions. Okay, whatever. Yeah, Battleworld is seriously disappointing, and there's a lot to change with Battleworld, I must say. Scroll Diamond Heist. We have also heard your feedback regarding the Scroll Diamond Heist event. We will be taking the following actions regarding this. For any player who upgraded Super Scroll in the 2 weeks prior to the event, we will be giving a refund of any Dark Promotion credits on Scroll's 5th to 7th red stars and Dark Diamond credits spent up to 1 diamond. We will also have a 30-day calendar awarding all players 5,000 Dark Promotion credits. Thank you for your patience and continued support of Marvel Strike Force. Now, this is a good thing, but again, 2 weeks prior to the event, they put no communication out about this apart from on the day that this event happened. There were some data mines that were available, but nothing tangible that you could sort of really read into. But 2 weeks, you know, no notice. What if you were the person who did it on day 15? You know, day 15 days before this scroll event went live, you put the 7th red star, spending, I think it's somewhere in the region of 10,000 DPCs to get the 7th red on them. I do understand people's problem with it. I do sympathize with people's issues with it. Personally, it was a big win for me as my account. Scroll was never going to be someone who I put reds on above 5 just due to the fact of the cost of them. And so, yeah. And this leads me into my next sort of thing. So going along with this, this is a Reddit post, and I kind of want to break this down, and I want to speak a little bit about this. Now, some of this I agree with, and some of this I do not. What a shame Kraken's ruined it. let me start off this post by saying that this is not my first mobile game. I understand how important the spenders are to a game, and because of this, they get a certain influence from most titles that the typical player does not receive. Yeah, completely true. However, I also understand how negative it can turn when those spenders hold a developer hostage. In my opinion, that's what's happened with Scopely and Marvel Strike Force. Okay, everyone's entitled to their own opinions on these things. Brilliant. I would say it is a 50-50 on this. Let's start off by saying that the comment they made about the 1 billion damage not being in top 10 leaderboard is categorically false. It has been confirmed that were fewer instances of it, but it did happen in the top couple alliances. Now, I don't think that the 1 billion damage happened in the top couple of alliances, but I do know the top couple of alliances were able to push out damage way beyond what a lot of people were able to. And I know those top alliances, the Super Trooper sort of alliance, shall we say cluster, managed to do it. And I believe that there is going to be something coming out from Dorky Dad at some point showing how it is done. But still, that it does beg to differ the massive difference between positions 1 and 2 and 3, considering that all of those people would be roughly around the same place where spending is concerned. So I'm not saying that they did this on purpose, but I do think that there was something that went on, some sort of bug that went on that caused this issue, and that it wasn't just the 1 billion damage, it was the ones that went way over 500 million damage as a total. The issue is Scopely wants to protect this player group from scrutiny, so they lie to us. Now, I don't think that they want to protect them from scrutiny. They're trying to obviously protect their income, which as a business, any business would do. For example, people like the incomparable Fate's Fury exist, who just indiscriminately buy everything in the shop daily, in Scopely's ear about the game every day. Fate's Fury has said publicly how there is no advantage for Krakens, not gear tier, not diamonds, nothing of it matters outside of making characters more exclusive. Now, this might be true, but I would like to say that this is, how can I say this? It shouldn't be an us and them where the Krakens and the free to play and the light to play, you know, the light spenders, the cheap to play, all of these people, we shouldn't be against each other fighting. This happens in life in total. I don't want to bring politics into this really, but it happens in politics, it happens in religion, it happens in the world. We basically always want to be either on one side of the fence or the other, and it isn't anyone's fault. It's not the Kraken's fault. It's not the free-to-play's fault. The fault here firmly lies at Scopely's door. Now, Fate's Fury has said publicly there is no advantage for Krakens, not gear tier. Well, that is obviously a problem because the gear tier should matter. If they were able to limit the gear tier for players and give the Krakens a decent amount of time with that gear tier, and if that gear tier actually mattered when it was put on characters, so that I can get what they're saying here, things like star levels and stuff like that do not matter because the incremental gains aren't big enough to mean that someone who is in the bracket below them spending can't compete with them. What they're effectively trying to do here is trying to bracket out spending brackets, but this could be done with gear tier and diamonds. You know, nothing of it matters apart from making characters more exclusive. That is completely and utterly wrong. if characters were available for both free to play and Krakens, but there was a huge difference between someone having a 3 red to a 5 red to a 7 red, then you would be in a position where actually this would be a pretty good game, and it is a pretty good game in some instances. But this issue lies firmly at Scopely's door. They are the ones who need to fix this issue. And what they've done, as he goes on to say here, what do you know? We now have one of the worst release methods in mobile gaming. Thanks so much, Fate's Fury. Again, if the gear tiers actually mattered, if the diamonds actually mattered, and when I say actually mattered, actually made enough of an incremental advantage that someone spending half of what a Kraken spends, or someone just buying the battle passes, can't compete with the guys spending thousands of dollars a month on a mobile game. People who are free to play can't compete with others. The star levels do not matter. And this is why the character, basically Scopely have taken the very easy way to fix this. And that is by limiting the characters that you can get in the amount of time that you get. Give the spenders that advantage of time on the characters. But that isn't because the characters need to be exclusive. That is purely because their other progression systems within the game do not add enough of an advantage to make the fact that this can stay a hero collector. What they have done now is effectively shut this down as a hero collector game, because so many people who I know have been quitting the game. We've got data for this. And most of that reason is because now they're so far behind on collecting characters in a hero collector game that it's no longer fun for them. The fun of the game is getting the characters and building them. And people are so far behind now that they cannot do it. And that is the problem. This comment, of course, came after his alliance got absolutely shellacked after moaning about Mephisto to get buffed. Probably very true. If you spend a lot of money to get a character, which a lot of the guys who are doing Dark Dimension do, they're going to want the character to be buffed because he was getting beaten easily in Alliance War and in Arena. Well, not Arena, but Alliance War, and that he was getting beaten really simply. Funnily enough, that experience led them to complain to get him nerfed back down a bit because they spend and aren't even good at the game, so they got destroyed in war. Okay, cool. People can have an opinion and say this character is too weak, it needs buffing, and then to actually go back to them and say, no, actually you've now made it a bit too strong. That shows good game knowledge and good game sense, in my opinion. Again, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. With that said, peace and love to the Krakens that advocate for the player base and don't act like Fate's Fury, moaning and groaning that other people get to play the game too. Now, I don't know this Fate's Fury guy, but this sounds really horrible. And we shouldn't be fighting against each other. What we should be fighting for is a better game from Scopely. And when I say a better game from Scopely, there have been a number of things this week that have made me quite sad about the game, and I think we're going to go over those as well. And so here is the next thing, and this is leading on from the whole Scopely needing to do better. We've had a lot of content creators quit. Here's Dorky Dad. I didn't log in yesterday for the first time in 5 years. Now, he goes on to mention that he did actually log in. But he didn't do what he would normally do in the game, all the usual basic stuff like spending energy, buying from the stores, etc., etc. He didn't do that. He did do the stuff that kept his alliance going, so he didn't let people down in his alliance, but his own personal side of the account he didn't do. And in this video, I'm not going to spoil everything, but in this video, he goes in to speak about the Shadow King trials. Now, I know Dorky loves the trials. This has always been his thing. I love watching the guides that he puts out for the trials. You know, for a long time before I started creating content, he would be the guy that I would go to watch for those sort of things. And it's a shame. You can hear it in his voice in his videos. With the Shadow King Trials videos, if you haven't watched those, I'm going to leave a link to them down below in the description. But it's a shame. You can hear it in his voice how upset he is with the trials and how sort of like how this isn't meeting his expectations as a gamer and as a player. And that is a real shame. But again, all of this lies at the door of Scopely. This is down to Scopely to fix, and we are possibly in the worst position in the game from player base and from, you know, where people are looking at. It's not great. You know, they're making a lot of decisions, and the decisions, some of them are great, like the gift of the 1 diamond super scroll. Amazing. That is an amazing, amazing gift and catch-up mechanic for people. You know, but it's the execution that goes wrong. And the problem is, because the execution goes wrong, and then there's community backlash from it, that makes them get cold feet and they stop doing it. And as we found out in the Envoy program, they stopped taking our feedback as such. And it felt really bad. And so the next thing, the Shadow King trials letdown. Again, just a little bit of an aside from that Dorky Dad video there. Was the Shadow King trials a bit of a letdown? I think it was, in a way. It was all right for the first run through, but my next runs that I'm doing, there's not, it's just more about tweaking the efficiency of what I was doing rather than figuring out the puzzles. The puzzle just isn't there to figure out. It's almost like we are, you know, there's nothing to progress to. Like difficulty 15, I'll be honest here, difficulty 15, and I said this in my video, difficulty 15 for someone like me who is a, you know, early end game, free to play player. You know, I've got Odin, I've got Mephisto. Really and truthfully, should I be able to do difficulty 15 as a player? Should I not have something to reach for? Should I be able to do the hardest content in the game? I don't think I should. You know, and that isn't stargating and stuff like they did with the Old Man Logan trial. That is not the solution here. That's an easy solution, a lazy solution. What you need to do is make it harder, make it, and not make it arbitrarily hard where you've just like, I don't know, did what you did in the incursion raids where you just slapped the resistance up on everything by masses. Not that, but actually make the puzzle harder. You know, make the characters that drop in more, you know, more situational, more of an impact on it. You know, make it so that I've got to work my way around the waves. I know you guys aren't taking feedback at the moment, and you probably don't even watch my videos, but Scopely, this needs to be better, and I do think it was a letdown. Why don't you let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think of the Shadow King trials? And then moving on to Monday, we have the Omega Sentinel Battle Pass coming on Monday, the 2nd of December. Now, in the blog, it does say that there is going to be no additional benefit for buying it on the web store. There has been for the past couple of Battle Passes, but this is not the case with the Omega Sentinel one. So don't feel like you are obliged to buy it on the web store to get something extra, because there apparently is nothing extra in this battle pass this month, or these 2 weeks. And we also have the Kahori initial release, which will be coming on Wednesday, the 4th of December. Personally, I'm excited for this character, but But she is potentially game breaking. I want to just quickly go to another video and recommend another video for you guys to watch. So let's go and take a look at that. And here we have it. This is a mobile gamer, and the guy doesn't need a shout out from me. He is the biggest Marvel Strike Force content creator. Kahori gameplay. This is bad for the game Marvel Strike Force. Again, I'll leave a link to this one down below so you can see it if you haven't already. But everything he says in this is pretty true. For those of you that don't know, Kahori has a passive that gives her 200% speed bar at the very start of her turn. So she gets to attack someone and put exposed on them, and then she gets to do 2 attacks back to back. And as he proved, if you pair this with Old Man Logan and Odin, who have the 100% assist chance, literally you are getting to delete 1, possibly 2 characters right off the bat, making fights a lot easier, especially when there's less of your opponent to fight back with. And this is going to make a real hard balancing concept for the designers. Like, this is game design. I can get where you try to push the boundaries a bit with game design, but this is like boxing yourself into a corner where you can't get out of again, because now potentially they can't make any more characters that have assists now, because or certainly like a all around assist now. They could have an assist if, you know, if such and such attacks, this character assists, but they couldn't have just a plain old assist now, because if you had a team with Kahori plus 4 characters who assist now, that is going to most definitely take down 2 characters. And even if she gets stack crept out of the meta, as long as those characters that are assisting now are still in the meta, she is going to be a thorn in the side forever and ever and ever. I am expecting there to be some form of rework for her, I would say, or, you know, a tweak, a nerf maybe. I'm not sure what it is going to be, but I'm pretty sure that we will probably end up seeing something. Yeah, this is just, again, this is like taking an idea or a concept and just taking it to the nth degree where it really didn't need to go. And so when we come round to Monday, we will be starting a brand new month-long meta, the Ice Queen's Gala. In this month-long event, or 5-week event, 35 days, you are going to be able to get yourself a full unlock of Emma Frost X-Men, which is very, very nice. Other than that, it looks pretty much the same sort of stuff that we would normally get from a month-long event. So nothing really to write home for. This month, you are collecting snow globes. Now, I believe these are going to be a bit like the turkeys from last month. So they're going to be available in a store to buy. So again, this will be another month where I will just show you where I'm at the end of each week, because it will all depend on how many times you refresh the store, how well your alliance probably does later on in it with the alliance gifting. All of those things will impact how much, you know, how far you are in this event. We need 3 million points to complete this event, but again, like I said, that should be pretty simple. The event items are the golden ring worth 10,000 points. Now, there are 5 of these golden rings in the first week's event. There are probably going to be 4 calling birds, so that'll be 40,000 points from there. 3 French hens, that's 45,000 points. 2 turtle doves, that's 50,000 points. And a partridge in a pear tree for 50,000 points. And so the first event in the Ice Queen's Gala month long is 5 golden rings. This is going to start on Monday, the 2nd of December 2024 at 1 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. GMT if you're like me in the UK. It is a 7-day event, so it's going to finish on the 9th of December. Now, this month we have the same as last couple of months. The web milestone is called Season of Giving. It is going to repeat 5 times, so we will have the same event 5 times over. This web milestone will give you points towards 5 golden rings, but also points towards the main month-long milestone. And we also have a repeating alliance event, Absolute Assault. This is going to start on the 2nd of December, so Monday again at 1 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. GMT. It is a 6-day event, so it will finish on the 8th of December. And the quick rumble next week is called More Golden Rings. It is going to start on the 6th of December, which is Friday at 1 p.m. PST or 9 p.m. GMT, and finish on the 8th of December, which is Sunday. And next week, you will be earning extra points for blitzing with Heroes for Hire. A lot older team. Some of you who have recently started the game or within the mid game might not have this team starred up. So this might be a little bit of a slower rumble for you rather than a quick rumble. But needless to say, 2 to 3 blitz rotations generally with the amount of teams we now have in the game, and you are pretty much home and dry where this event is concerned. Okay, so we are going to go into the web milestone first, Season of Giving. And as I said, this is very similar to what we've been doing for the past few months, couple of months. We are spending turkeys in this web milestone and spending snow globes. 600,000 is what we need to spend in total. It is going to give us 19,800,000 points towards the 5 golden rings milestone, and also 10,000 points towards the Ice Queen's Gala milestone. There is also 100 of the Moondragon Awakened ultimate abilities, which were available to buy last week. So as I said in last week's video, just hold on and they will be there. So if you did buy that orb for the extra points in the game and the Awakened ability, you've got a couple of weeks on top of the free to play there for that one. And your to-do list for this event is to spend turkeys in the turkey store and to spend your snow globes in the snow globe store. And on Monday, when the event goes live and hopefully the snow globe store is live, I will be going over some of my picks from the snow globe store and where the snow globes are actually going to be coming from. And that event leads into the 5 golden rings. We have the 10 rings here, much better than 5 rings. This event, your inputs are going to be to earn Shadow Orb fragments, spend gold, and then open Ring Orb 1, Ring Orb 2, Ring Orb 3, or Ring Orb 4. Now, this event is very similar to an event that I covered last year. So I have a feeling that it is going to be very similar to this event here, which was the Snowy Spider Spectacle, which was actually about 11 months ago I recorded this video, but it'll be about 12 months by the time this actually comes around, because this was the 1st December event last year. So take a look at this video to see roughly what that happened, to give you a bit better idea as to what was going on. Now, I've got the reasonable free-to-play total as question mark, 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 and that's because I don't know what you're going to spend in gold. I currently haven't thought about what I'm going to spend in gold as such, and I want to explain that a little bit more. But your to-do list this week is to spend at least 200 power cores on campaign energy. That will earn you the 30 million point limit on the Shadow Orb fragments. And I've put here spend gold wisely. Now, probably your best bang for your buck will be buying those ring orbs, especially the Ring Orb 1 and Ring Orb 2, because you're going to get an extra 60,000 points on top of the gold that you spend to buy those ring orbs. But again, until Monday, we don't really know what, where that lies. And you're also going to want to go to the web store to collect your daily free claim. Now, I'm going to go to a bigger picture of this because I think it deserves to be shown off properly. So here we have the chart for next week for Monday. And you will see here that the milestone 20 is 260 million points. That's a lot of points. In this, we have snow globes. We have 5 golden rings. So each of those golden rings is worth 10,000 points. But remember, if the snow globe store is anything like the turkey store, that is effectively 5 snow globe buys to earn those golden ring points. So maybe the event item isn't as important as it sounds. I'm not sure if this event, I'm pretty sure this event is a trap. There are Mephisto Red Star orb fragments here. That is really great. There is a total of 12,000 fragments or 6 orbs available here if you are able to complete the 20 milestones. But why do I say this event feels like a trap? We've got some gold in here. We've got 17 million gold there, just in milestone 15 and milestone 18. But why do I feel like this is a trap? Well, it's basically because of this. Here is the leaderboard for this event. And as you can see, the character in question for the leaderboard is Mephisto. One of, if not the best character currently in Marvel Strike Force. A lot of people will already have 7 red stars on him thanks to the Mephisto Red Star orb that we've been lucky enough to get from the turkey store. And so competition for these diamonds for Mephisto is going to be incredibly high. To get into the top 1,000 players, I have a feeling there is going to be some serious money parted with to get there and be in chance with the 1, 2 or 3 diamond Mephisto. And this is why I think if you're a regular free-to-play player like myself, this event could be a massive trap for your gold. And you've got to ask the question, why are they trying to make us spend gold at this time of year? Well, firstly, as I've said for the past few weeks, I think there is a level cap on its way. They have been trying to drain our energy resources, and they're now trying to drain our gold resources. And that is only so that if you get caught in that trap, you will struggle when it comes to the next event part, which is probably going to be to do with the level cap increase, which would be like a race to, like we had last time, the race to 100, where you were able to get extra rewards for bringing characters up levels. I've got a feeling they'll probably run something like that again, because that was a very good event and I think did them quite well from a monetary value. They are trying to drain us dry at the moment as players, and that makes me think this event is a complete and utter trap. So what you want to do is spend wisely, get as far as you are comfortable getting. And that is very key here, is get as far as you are comfortable spending your gold, but make sure you have gold left over for that level cap increase. And last but not least, we have Absolute Assault. Now, I don't normally do this in the initial impressions videos, but because the landscape has changed slightly next week, we are fighting in war, playing war battles and earning Allied Supply 6 orb fragments. Obviously, the Allied Supply 6 orb fragments are coming from the daily free claim as normal. The war battles, this is all to do with the fact that we have the Absolute A-Force team coming out. They are the team of the month. And so this is the way that they want you to earn not only what will be no doubt the new orb fragments, the phase 1 orb for the likes of Kahori and Medusa and so on and so forth. But also, this will be how you are going to earn, this will be the alliance events that you're earning them from as well. Reasonable free-to-play total, 417,000 points. That's going to put you just shy of the milestone 17. Now, you might be able to get the milestone 17 if the allied supply 6 orb fragments are at 1,000. I, however, have marked them off as 500 for now, just being speculative. Your to-do list this week is to spend 8 war battles per war for your alliance and to collect the daily free claim, and that will hopefully get you to that 417,000 points. And now, just some final thoughts. This week has been a bit of a weird one in Marvel Strike Force, if I'm completely honest. I feel there is it's a lot more vocal now, the sort of us and them routine. Blaming the Krakens for what is going on, and I don't think that's fair. What we need to work together to try and get Scopely to make this game better, to not be as lazy and make the game a better game and a better place to be. It's a game. It is at current, it feels like a shopping simulator. You go in, you click your claims, you click your buttons, you click your sims on your raids, and then you log off. And it's not engaging, and there's nothing to do like that. Even the Shadow King trial was limited in the puzzle that it had behind it, and that is not what we want as gamers. I'm sure that's not what the Krakens want either. I'm sure the Krakens want a game that is engaging, but it just seems like the developers cannot make an engaging game. Why not let me know what you think in the comments down below? Don't forget, if this video has helped you, please consider giving it a like and maybe even share it with some of your alliance mates. And until next time, everyone, stay positive.